Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Today, I want us to ask ourselves this question of what is preventing us from achieving success in this dunya. The things that are preventing us from achieving success in this dunya are the same thing that will prevent an individual from achieving success on the day of Qiyamah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us extensive guidance in the Quran on how to live our life. One of the biggest problems that we all have is procrastination. A lot of the times people procrastinate to achieve success. And the second thing is people lack guidance. So if you have the disease of procrastination and you lack guidance on how to do something, then you cannot achieve that goal in this dunya, let alone that of akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us in Surah Al Asr, Allah describe what are going to be the recipe for success. Because other than that, if you don't have those 4 recipes for success, which is I want all to listen to me today and wait to the end of this video to understand those 4 recipes for success. The 4 recipes that can help you achieve your connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the goal you have in mind to connect yourself with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the goal you have in mind to connect your child to Islam and connect your child to Iman, the goal you have in mind to achieve whatever success you want to achieve in this dunya. This is what we need to learn together today. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described in this Surah Al Asr, the recipe for success. And let us look into this. A lot of you have yourself wanting to learn to recite the Quran, or you want your kid to achieve success to be an hafiz, or you want your child to become a doctor. But guess what? If 4 things are not present, the success you want to achieve in this dunya will not be the real success. And the success of the akhirah also will be missing. And I equate this dunya to like a person who was given to live a mansion or a luxurious apartment or a villa, and they told the person, you're going to be in this villa for a year, we're going to give you everything that you want, cars, everything. You don't even need to work to have everything of this dunya that you want. But there's a caveat, and they tell you, oh, after a year you're going to leave this villa and you not have anything anymore. So compared to a person who was told that you're going to live in this place for a year, but you not have everything enjoyment that you want, you see things that's not pleasing to you, but after that 1 year, you will be in an everlasting and continuous enjoyment. So just think about that. Which option would you take? Would you take the option to live and enjoy for a year and suffer forever? Or you would like to enjoy forever and suffer for a little time? And this is the discipline Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to teach us to help us achieve success in this dunya. I know a lot of parents, many of us, will be procrastinating the success that will overlap with the success of akhirah, which is the success of this dunya. If you achieve success in this dunya in terms of what Allah counts to be success, then inshallah your success for akhirah is also guaranteed. So 4 things that we need to bear in mind. Allah says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, that by the end time, that people, human beings, will be in destructions. Human beings will be in lose, meaning everyone will be in destruction. And Allah make istisna that there are some people that will not be in loss. There are some people that will not be in destruction. Allah says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, except those who believe in Allah and they do righteous good deeds and they enjoin each other for understanding, knowing and practicing the truth about this dunya and enjoining each other to patience. Let's dive into each of these requirements for success Allah has mentioned in Surah Al Asr. Let's talk about Iman first. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention that Iman will be a recipe to your success in this dunya? And which is what a lot of us parents are shying away from. The Iman is built, is not inherited. And the only way and the only root or the only source of Iman that can be fixed in your heart is to connecting yourself and your child to the Quran. I say this not because I teach the Quran, but this is the practical solution to our life. When you build Iman through the Quran, everything falls into place. You might not enjoy the entire dunya, but everything will not make you get worried too much. So Iman is the first thing that you need to build with your child. A lot of us who live in the West, we care a lot about what our kids will do, engineering, medicine, nursing. These are important things that we need to invest time and money to. But what about what the kids will use to live that life? It's like you giving a person all the food they need. They give them all the raw food, but you don't give them the recipe on how to cook the food. This is how it is when you teach a child or you invest heavily in your child to become an engineer and doctor, but you don't invest in how they will live the life. What are the norms? What are the abnormals that they should understand? So that's exactly you right now getting your child serious on their pursuit of this dunya, but you're not working hard at the same time to get them understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and build Iman. So you're an example of a parent that has your child given everything, food, recipe is missing. So the recipe to cook the food to make it sweet is the Iman. And this is what a lot of students, a lot of kids, a lot of adults today are missing from their life. So the next other thing Allah mentioned in that surah was وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Allah says those who do good deeds. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Allah says except those who believe in Allah and do righteous good deeds. How do you do righteous good deeds? You need to understand what is right, what is wrong. If you don't know what is right and wrong, you cannot do what is right. And how do you get the source of information of what is right? From the Quran as well. That's what Allah said in the Quran in Surah Al Asr. إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ يَهْدِي لِلَّتِي هِيَ أَقْوَمُ وَيُبَشِّرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا كَبِيرًا. That this Quran will guide those who want to be guided to the upright path. It's going to guide you to the best and the sane and the upright and the ideal path. And it also comes to give glad tidings to those who do good deeds that they will have a great reward with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reward Allah is mentioning is not just about the akhirah. There is going to be a great reward in this dunya. You know, Allah said in the Quran, Surah Yunus, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. That those who are the friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will not have any fear in this dunya and they will not be sad. Meaning they will not have fear in their heart about this dunya. Imagine if Allah take away that from you and Allah take away sadness from your heart. Allah says, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. Allah said those who believe in Allah and what? They fear Allah. So how do you fear Allah? By doing righteous good deeds. And how do you understand what are the righteous good deeds? You need to go back to the Quran and learn what is right, what is wrong. What is the thing you need to do? Not using this definition of UN, not using the definition of human rights, not using the definition of this country or not, the definition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave for what is right and what is wrong. And doing those things that are right and running away from those things Allah said it's wrong. So you yourself or anyone, president or anyone in this dunya, human being, cannot determine what is right and wrong except Allah has destined and determined that in the Quran. This is how we can live the life. Allah says the second recipe for success is a'malu salihah, those who do righteous good deeds, which was described in the Quran, explained in the Quran. And that's why if Quran is out of your life, is not a priority of your daily life, then you're missing a specific recipe for goodness in your life. And you're not going to be among those Allah will count to achieve success in this dunya. Mind you, success is not you having wealth and having money and having cars. That's not success. You've seen people that are so successful in the definition of dunya, but they're still not happy. This is why, because they've not lived the life Allah wants them to live. So you want to be a righteous person and you will learn that righteousness from the Quran. So imagine you now distancing yourself from the Quran, learning to read first, learning to recite fluently first, then understanding comes after. If your child or yourself has been struggling for many years, this is time you have to think of, why am I struggling? A lot of students struggle with Quran for four reasons. One, some struggle with motivation. They're not interested because some other things are carrying or catching their interest. Some are not achieving the Quran reading fluency and connection because they felt reading the Quran itself is a bit harder and difficult to achieve. Some people actually not able to learn to recite the Quran. Why? Because they felt that it's taking too long. They've been learning Quran for 5-6 years. Some parents even think about that, and they're like, "This is so hard." And all together, some people forget the Quran that they learn. So you see, all these problems I mentioned is not because you're not smart. It's because of your mindset and it's because of your deeds. Allah mentioned in the Quran about those who are mu'tadin athim, those who are transgressors, and they are repeated offenders. They are repeated sinners. Allah says, كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. What has made them have this sealed mind, what has made them go astray, because every time they commit a sin, there's a black dot that stains their heart. And the moment the heart is not clean of that, then it's stained the heart until the heart get darkened, and nothing of goodness close unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come to their mind to do at all. You see, so we need to understand this, that our a'mal, our deeds, also determine the kind of connection that we will have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how do you determine the a'mal? How do you determine your deeds in this dunya? You determine that from what Allah has mentioned in the Quran. And you will not learn that unless you study the Quran. So you will have a good and successful life following these criteria Allah mentioned in this surah. Al-Iman billah, and also Al-A'mal al-Salihah. So you cannot define what a good deed is except Allah has defined that in the Quran. Not UN, not CIHR, not whatever. Not any organization will come and define. And if you see any definition of goodness from anyone, the Quran has mentioned it to be goodness as well. But not all what people think to be good is good in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you will need to learn about what is righteous for you to do and what are the things that are not righteous. And this is how you can have a peaceful life. Allah said, by the time that everyone will be in lost, meaning people will have a miserable life when they don't have Iman, when they don't do righteous good deeds. And Allah mentioned the two criteria for success. Allah says, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, and they enjoin each other on truthfulness. They enjoin each other on honesty. So what is the truthfulness here? Is about learning the haqq of this dunya, that this dunya is going to end and it's a short time. What is so important is about the life of akhirah. Allah said in Surah Al Ankabut, وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهْوٌ وَلَعِبٌ, that the life of this dunya is nothing except play and amusement. وَإِنَّ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانُ لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ, and the life of the hereafter is the real life. That's the life that will be everlasting and forever. Imagine when you now leave this dunya and live shortly, enjoying what you think is enjoyment, but you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you couldn't enter Jannah. So aside from the Jannah of akhirah, you need to understand the truth of this dunya so you can live a peaceful and sane life. Because Allah mentioned in the ayah I mentioned earlier, if you are a mu'min and you do righteous good deeds, Allah said, La khawfun alayhim. Those people in this dunya, they will not fear anything. Their mind is still going to be at rest. Wala hum yahzanun. Nothing will make them sad in this dunya because they understood that this dunya is nothing. So Allah said, except those who understand the truth about this dunya and understand the truth about the akhirah are those who will succeed at the end of the time. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and those who enjoin each other for patience. Imagine a lot of people today have destroyed good things because they were not patient. And you have to be patient in three scenarios. There are three kinds of patience. The first one is as-sabru ala maharimillah. You need to be patient to avoid the things Allah has not wanted to do. This is the first patience. Allah said, don't do this. You need to be patient on that. And the other kind of sabr is as-sabru ala ta'atillah. You need to be patient to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? You need to be patient to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third one is as-sabru ala aqidarillahi al-mu'limah. You need to be patient upon Allah's test on you in this dunya, the calamities that befalls you. Imagine if you don't understand this and your child does not understand this in this dunya, there's no way life will be easy. So, and the easiest kind of sabr is the one we have when calamity befalls us. Because if we have the power to prevent ourselves getting into trouble, to prevent ourselves getting sad, we'll do it, but we don't have that power. And this is the easiest form of sabr. You just have the patience. You lost your money, you lost your job. It has already happened. You cannot bring back that moment. And that's why in this dunya, brothers and sisters, if you don't understand the Quran and learn the Quran, recite the Quran, and have your life built on the Quran, life is going to be miserable. So what I want you all to do right now, take time to reflect about your life and the life of your kids. Are you having enough connection with the Quran? There's no dosage of Quran learning that's harmful. It's so sad. Some people will say, my child, enough. What he has learned about the Quran is enough. Let him learn some other things. Subhanallah. The Quran should be forever something that you will learn until you go to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I keep saying this because this is the reality of life. The moment we say Quran is enough, then Allah will say it's enough for you as well. I'm going to leave you to your affairs and you do things yourself. How? You cannot do things on your own. You need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you out. But when you put Allah's Quran, Allah's Amr, His own command in front of you, and everything comes after, then your life is going to make sense. Otherwise, if you put everything before the Quran and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the life becomes much harder. So 4 things that we need to learn and build, and all this are built from the Quran. Al-Iman billah, A'mal al-Salihah, how to learn the truth, and how to learn patience. All these are from the Quran. So if your child is growing up and they're busy with schools, they're busy with sports, we understand that. But you need to know that you are just giving your child all the raw food without telling them the recipe on how to cook the food. That's exactly how this life is without the Quran. You might have all the things to make a good food, but the moment you leave out the Quran, you don't have the guidance to make the food to be sweet. If someone has all the resources to cook and all that, if they don't have the recipe, they will not be able to make the food. And this is what the Quran is. The Quran is the recipe for good life. You might have everything to make your life, but if you don't have the Quran, you're missing the big recipe and you'll not be able to get the food made, right? So we have a program called the Accelerated Quran Reading Program. It takes about 4 months to get kids or anyone to recite the Quran fluently. And this is the beginning. So you can learn to recite fluently and learn to understand the Quran as well in this program. And you need, I would say, 3 hours per week. There's a link below this video. You can tap on the link and watch a short training video where I explain a system called the Accelerated Quran Reading System. You can use it for your child at home or get anyone who is teaching your child to use it. And you will see the improvements and the connection in your child's life with the Quran and yourself. So the link is below this video. Watch that short training to understand how that system works, so you can start implementing that today in your own life and for your child. So let me know if you have any question. You can use the link below to reach out to us. Comment below this video if you find this video useful. Comment below this video if you have any other question about getting yourself connected with the Quran, or you want to memorize the Quran as an adult. You feeling all this shaitan thought that's not making you move forward, or your child has been learning the Quran for many years, they're struggling with motivation, with forgetting lessons, they're not wanting to learn, or they're feeling the Quran is hard and difficult to learn. We can help here. Just tap the link below this video. There's in the description. You can watch the training, or you can comment below this video and get more help, inshallah. Until next week, subhanaka wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.